Gen X. We grew up in that sweet spot of history when GPS was the position of the sun and a push notification were the streetlights flickering on at dusk, letting us know it was time to go home. We're the last generation to know a truly analog childhood and the first to build a solely digital adulthood. That duality gives us a unique brand of problem solving.
Away we go traveling.
As a generation raised to find our own way home, that makes us really well suited to master our retirement, to trade our corporate titles for the ultimate luxury, which is owning all of our own time. For us, being able to own our own time wasn't really a preference. It was sort of a necessity. We figured out pretty early on that corporate promise to our parents was broken. The promise of you work for us for 30 or 40 years and we'll provide you with a pension and stability for the rest of your lives. That wasn't there for us. And we had to provide for ourselves and figure out a new way to retire. We're the generation that watched corporate pensions disappear. We saw our parents work through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s and have that loyalty evaporate when corporations went bankrupt. Because of that, we developed a deep sense of loyalty to ourselves. We never expected a company to take care of us, so we built our own lifeboats. We knew the safety net was a myth, so we engineered our own. We aren't mourning the loss of the office, we're celebrating our escape. Our previous generations, the silents and the boomers, they really prioritized the long career, the gold watches, the titles, all those things that for us, they may have been there early on, but as of now, they're pretty much all gone. We as a generation figured out we don't necessarily care so much about being a senior director or a vice president. We care more about our Tuesday afternoons at a craft brewery or maybe a Thursday morning hike. Both of those are infinitely more valuable than a corner office. As a generation, I like to think that we don't suffer from one more year syndrome. We know when enough is enough. We know when it's time to go, and we won't mourn that loss when we leave. We were the first generation that had to figure out our 401ks, our Roth IRAs, and all of our financial goals without a safety net. We didn't have TikTok influencers. We didn't have guides on Google that gave us all the things that we needed to build the perfect portfolio. We had to read a prospectus. We had to do the math. We had to figure out how to build our own future. It's a really deep satisfaction in knowing that we built that on our own without having the help that exists today. Look what our portfolios have had to survive through. We had the end of the Cold War. We had the fall of the Berlin Wall. We had the dot-com bubble. We had the housing crisis, COVID, all the things that just kept getting in the way. That makes us very historically stoic. We don't panic sell. We know that there's going to be ups and downs, and we're the generation that puts our head down and gets it done. This sort of attitude really makes us perfect for managing our portfolios in retirement because, we lived through the dot-com bubble and all of the COVID downturns. We certainly aren't going to panic if the market drops by 5%. We were a generation that grew up in a walk-it-off culture. Rub some dirt on it, keep going. We didn't wait for a participation trophy or a pat on the back. Most of the time we didn't get them. We finished our project and we moved on. Retirement's the same way. There's ups, there's downs. Not everything is a beach vacation. So we're the generation that's going to take those punches and roll with them. We're going to have tons of what now moments, but over our entire lives, we've been built to deal with those what now moments. We won't panic when we lose our 9 to 5 and say, what's next? What are we going to do? We'll know what to do. We know what's next. If you decide to early retire and take up a new hobby or start traveling, it doesn't really matter. Whatever's thrown in front of us, if you're on a long road trip and you get a flat tire, well, guess what? We're going to get out, fix that flat tire, and move on. Head down, get it done. We grew up in the fitness boom of the 80s and 90s. And I think now that we're all hitting our late 40s, all the way through our 50s, and I think maybe even some of us might be even pushing that magic number of 60, we have a desire to do things. We want to get out while the getting's good. While we still have our health, while we still have our ability to be active. We watched the previous generations retire at 65 or 70, basically as far as they could go. And then their mobility challenges limited what they could do in retirement. We have plans. We want to travel. We want to do our hobbies. We want to garden. We want to do things with our friends. We want to pick up a new sport. It doesn't matter, but we want to do it while we still have the amount of mobility and basically the best amount of health we have left for these last few years. We've said it before in previous videos, and I'll say it again here. Time is our one non-renewable resource. It's the only thing we're never going to get back. So we've decided as a generation, we don't want to spend that time in a cubicle. We want to get out there. We want to travel. We want to do things. We want to reclaim all the time that we've given to corporate America or to our jobs, and we want to put it to what we want to do for now. We are the last generation that truly knows how to be bored, and the first one that knew what global meant. Being able to travel, being able to go places that we'd never been before. You know, our parents, in a lot of cases, spent their entire lives within 20 or 25 miles of where they lived. We haven't done that. Our ability to be bored, our ability to invent things for us to do, like when you're a kid and go out and ride your bike, will make us uniquely situated to retire and know that we're not going to spend our time being bored. We're not going to spend our time wasting it on the couch. We'll find things to do. We'll go for walks. We'll meet our friends. We'll invent new hobbies for ourselves. We're not required to be in front of a screen to entertain ourselves. This skill set is unique to our generation and really makes us the perfect retiree. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.